This is all bare rock with just a little bit of grass scattered around, which has recently burnt in this wildfire. Now, majority of the area is exposed rocks, and amongst these rocks you find trees which are growing right from the rock itself. You see that root is invading the rock itself. There is hardly any soil, and that root is assisting the entire tree, which is a pine tree. Now, there are numerous such trees around, and then we have these oaks. They also have grown out of pure rocks, out of pure rock. Then let me show you one wonderful tree here. This is a cedar pine tree, young, and you can see the stem is emerging purely from a rock without any soil to provide it nutrition. Now this tree is holding the rock in place, and at the same time is also slowly rupturing it off and making the environmental conditions favorable for other species to grow. In between these crevices, when the pine litter falls and is burnt, it starts getting accumulated in these sorts of crevices, and hence it forms a sort of a profile which becomes the bedding material for the other seeds to grow. And slowly you can see it has accumulated itself in the form of soil, and this soil thereafter arrests the seeds of various other species and provides them an environment to grow. Like you see here, this little bush, though it appears to have been burnt, but soon it will re-flourish. Similarly, here, this pine tree, it has also got a hold deep inside a rock, and slowly it is accumulating. The pine needles are accumulating underneath it, getting burnt or getting decomposed to create a soil profile, which then arrests the seeds of various trees and provides a nutrition material for growth. That, of course, is the work of the sapsucker bird, which creates holes to release sap, and then insects fell into that trap. You can see the entire landscape has similarly denuded rock surface with occasional trees around, and with the trees, the pine needles, when they fall to the ground, they decompose or they get burnt, and in these the seeds of various trees like the oaks and nearby other vegetation, they fall, and then they find some good material where they can flourish. So though a few seeds might be charred, but many stay clean. This is charred, but many stay clean, and then they just emerge with the first onset of monsoons. Here you see this material created, and there are seeds which are pretty cool, clear, without any damage, and they have the potential to create newer trees later on. So the cedar pine, which is often cursed as a bane for the forests, is rather the real cultivator of all these forests. And further, the bark of the tree is so specifically designed that it has very little impact of the fire. You can see this bark, the outer surface is burnt. Now if I chip off the layers, you can see that the bark is pretty clean without any damage on the inside. There is hardly any damage on the inside of the bark. The tree is safe and sound. This is a evolutionary benefit or evolutionary strategy adopted by this tree. So what appears from surface as devastation is in fact the bed or the nursery for restoration or replenishment or further enhancement of this particular barren successional landscape. I'll take you on a little tour around so that you can appreciate a few more such trees and then give a thought on how things work around. See that tree, for instance. The amount of leaf litter, the amount of pine leaf litter converted to soil just underneath it, which will now arrest a lot of other seeds and allow them a material to grow. Similarly, many trees, when they start growing underneath these, in these areas or pockets, they in fact hold the rocks in place. For instance, look at this tree. This tree has taken the form of a sort of a curve, and it's only under the impression of a rock protruding out, thereby giving some support to the rock itself. Isn't it really cool and a very thought of phenomena sort of? Here again, there is a tree with the same sort of activities happening around. So many trees growing purely on barren rocks and thereafter creating some soil because of their leaf or their needles, and thereby producing more and more of bedding material for the other species to find some substance to grow. See these. Now, what seems to have been a complete devastation is not really so. For instance, this tree, it seems to have been completely burnt. But you see the bark is again, if I'll chip the bark slightly, you can find that the bark is perfect inside, the tree is perfect inside. Let me again demonstrate this with Idhar Rakesh. Let me demonstrate the same again here with this particular tree. The bark seems to have been burnt. थोड़ा सा इसकी छाल को चढ़ के संभाल के थोड़ा नीचे का जहाँ जला हुआ ना हल्का से उछाल के तोड़ के दिखाओ, और जहाँ जहाँ से उखड़ सके. There you see, it's all clean, undamaged. Slippery, very slippery. तो अंदर की ठीक है. Inside of the surface bark is all clear and healthy without any damage, and the tree is perfectly fine. So forest fire has evolved along with this tree, and the trees have evolved with the forest fire. So this is a mutual successional adaptation which allows these trees to grow even in these almost xerophytic conditions, where they still survive, and not only they survive, they produce other factors like the soil and nutritional material which provide for the growth of other species and other trees. So you can just imagine all barren rock, completely devoid of any soil profile, but still cheer trees growing under it, within it in fact, within the rock surface, and then creating conditions beneficial for other species. Again, another tree which is burnt. Now if I remove the bark from the surface, you can see inside is all fine. Oh, it's only the upper surface bark which is burnt, and then this burnt out litter, this pine needle litter, will convert itself in the form of soil which will fall within these crevices like here, and thereafter this will become the bedding material for other soil, for other plants, other seeds, and provide for their nutrition and growth. So this is what we need to understand. Rather than react, let us reason into the forces that design a forest landscape.